Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. Please subscribe to the channel and share this video with a couple of friends and colleagues. Definitely helps out the channel a lot, and we appreciate it. From Variety, a first big review for The Amateur, which is releasing this weekend. Let's read into it. The Amateur review, Rami Malek is a CIA analyst turned Avenger and a thriller more by the code than it looks. Charlie Heller, the mad-as-hell secret agent, geek brainiac at the center of The Amateur, is a CIA analyst who works 5 floors underground at Langley in the decryption and analysis department. There, he's a master of all things coded and virtual, a surveillance hacker par excellence. Out of the office, he and his adoring wife, Sarah, played by Rachel Brosnahan, reside in a renovated farmhouse and appear to have the perfect life. So when Sarah, on a corporate trip to London, gets taken hostage by a cadre of terrorists and is killed on the spot, it's as if Charlie's entire existence had been wiped away. Since the tragedy was an international incident, his bosses at the agency assure him that the perpetrators will be hunted down, but that's not enough for Charlie. It won't stall his rage, his desire for vengeance. Instead, Charlie says, "I want to kill them myself," but he'll have to go rogue to do it. After all, what good would a revenge movie be if the revenge were sanctioned? That you're breaking the law yourself is what gives it the special down and dirty flavor. Charlie in his CIA bunker is not a violent man, and the hook of the movie is that even when he goes on his rampage, he's detached from his violent impulses. He's not much good at shooting a gun, and he doesn't become the kind of bare-knuckle brawler almost every action hero is. He's not a man of action, he's a man of planning, even as he skips from Paris to Istanbul to the Baltic coast, chasing after the criminals who are some sort of freelance weapons brokers for bad nation states. He is still, in a certain sense, behind the desk, hacking and manipulating, executing his handmade traps. Though what this mostly makes you feel is that he's seen a lot of movies. Maybe that's why The Amateur doesn't pack all that much of a punch. It's directed with anonymous efficiency by James Hawes, a British television director who's helmed episodes of Doctor Who, and the script by Ken Nolan and Gary Spinelli. Keeps throwing things at us, but there's a difference between springing twists and earning them. It can seem churlish to complain that an undercover thriller is mission implausible, but much of what happens in The Amateur seems arbitrary. Charlie shows up at an exotic locale, tracks down one of the killers in question and confronts him, trying to get him to give up the location of the group's leader, and when he refuses, you better believe that the suspended glass swimming pool the killer is taking a midnight dip in has been rigged with explosives. At times, The Amateur could have been called the detonator. Charlie initially tries to blackmail his CIA overseers after stumbling onto an agency cover-up of a coordinated drone attack in which 1,000 civilians were killed, but it's not a good idea to blackmail the CIA. To buy time, the agency's sinister deputy director, Alex Moore, plays along with Charlie's little vengeance plot, even giving him special training under the tutelage of agency veteran Robert Henderson, who sizes up Charlie by saying, "You're not a killer." The training zips by so quick, it's almost a joke. The whole point is that for Charlie, learning to navigate these action cliches doesn't totally take. But once he gives the slip to Moore, who keeps dispatching overseers to catch him, The Amateur turns into a Bourne film, minus the clobbering fights and clattering car chases, crossed with Death Wish, crossed with Munich, crossed with The Killer, crossed with a generic spy adventure for an age when technology is murder. The movie isn't badly made, but a lot of pulp has been stuffed into its blender. There's a funny moment when Charlie picks an apartment lock with the aid of an instructional video on how to do so. The scene points to a very different sort of movie The Amateur could have been had it truly lived up to its title, but the scene feels like some stray remnant from an earlier draft. This is the third thriller that Rami Malek has made since becoming a star in Bohemian Rhapsody, and it nudges his tense, twitchy moodiness even closer to the center of his brand. He's the right actor to play a digital geek turned mind hunter. His best moment comes early on when he entraps one of the killers in a plastic medical chamber and dumps pollen into it. For a moment, you can taste the sadism. Mostly, though, Malek plays out his methodical mission of vengeance as if it were something almost theoretical. The conceit of The Amateur is that Charlie must do all this himself, remains at heart a conceit. That's why the movie is okay, but never, killer.